Oh, he says he's got nothing in the flat. That's why he has to do a shop every day, because he's got nothing in the flat.
It's easier that way, isn't it? You don't know what you're going to want to eat.
But that's why you get you don't have a different meal every day of the year, do you? You rotate maybe a dozen meals, don't you? So you can get in enough ingredients that any time you go to the fridge and go, oh, am I going to have chicken? Or am I going to have fish today? Or maybe I'll have some pasta. I do that every day. No, but I always come down to one of half a dozen meals.
You've got a freezer. We haven't got a freezer, have we? We've only got a little fridge.
Oh,
there's nothing wrong with nipping to the supermarket. There's nothing wrong with that.
So you've got too much time on your hands, boy. You had one thing. You had to do one thing this year. Promote the book.
Couldn't be bothered.
Couldn't be bothered, mate. Could not be bothered.
I haven't seen Carl an interview with him. I haven't seen him on the TV.
Oh, he was on the TV a while back on the thing called The Culture Show on BBC Two. And I tell you what, he was sat there, looked like a little frightened frog in a chair being interviewed. And I tell you what, I'm not being funny, but his head looked fucking round.
Did it look fucking
round? Yeah. Literally looked like a little fucking round-headed twat.
I'm doing that.
And that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that interview?
Not really.
Why?
Well, I met a guy, funny you should mention that, I met a guy when I was in France recently, and I met a guy, he wasn't a Frenchman, but he was over there, and he saw me, he was a bit drunk, and he came over and he went, Karl Pilkington's got a head like a fucking orange. And I high-fived him and we agreed. I thought, isn't that nice? You know, even when you're abroad, you can find someone who speaks sense.
Yeah. They shaved your head more?
No. It's just
they sort of greased it up a bit just to get a bit more reflection off it.
No, they put a lot of makeup on it. They said, do you want any makeup? And I said, not really. And that's when I was like at the back where they could have done it. And then I went and sat in the chair and there's like a live audience there. And the woman goes, no, I best do some colouring in. And it was like, must
she gave you a book to colour in?
People. No, she started colouring me head in. And she was like had some brown powder. She's doing my head, doing the top of it and stuff. And I was going, isn't that enough now? And everyone's looking and sort of laughing to themselves that I'm having my head coloured in. Sure, she was doodling on the top. She took longer than anyone else who she was doing. I watched like other people who were on.
Well, she's got more flesh to do. When you do usually powder someone, it stops at the forehead. Yours had to go round to the fucking back.
Yeah, but the camera wasn't at the back of my head. She was just kept going.
No,
and
but
going.
the shine for the cameras that would get in people's eyes.
They've got to be careful. Health and safety. The light will bounce off into the eyes of the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't happy with that anyway. So I'm not doing it again.
How do you cope with this newfound interest in you as a person?
I've got an idea, Steve, by the way. You know, for me, I want Karl to be famous so it gets him hassle in the street.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
Sure.
When they see him in the street with his little fucking round-headed face like a fucking orange.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to do a tour next year, okay, called Fame, okay? And everywhere I play, if I hopefully play to millions of people in, you know, I might even go to America, but I'll make sure the theatres I play, or whatever, there's a picture of Karl on the seat, right, that they can put in their window. So next year, I want a picture of Karl in every window. Or whatever. But if you can make this yourself, put Karl everywhere. So, have you seen this bald-headed twat? Please make up the posters.
Just send emails to friends.
Absolutely. I want to see pictures, if you own a shop, but a big picture of him. If you just, even if you, you know, your own home, your own flat, get it everywhere. Have you seen this bald-headed twat? This is Karl Pilkington. He's got a head like a fucking orange. Get it everywhere. I want to see the world papered with Karl's round head.
Happy New Year.
Oh, he's only gonna write it down for a whole fucking year.
That, of course, signifies another reading from Karl's diary. This is the last one of both 2006 and on any podcast for a while. Let's make the most of it. Let's enjoy some of the wisdom.
I also think it's the last time ever he will make an entry in this diary, because you're not going to keep another one, are you?
I don't know yet. I might just get a smaller one. But I found that since keeping a diary, I've gone out of my way to do more stuff.
Well, you say that, but...
Well, let's find out. Let's find out if that's true.
No, I have.
I read a bit in the news about people being injured while trying to cut open avocados. It's a food that ain't worth injuring yourself for. If it's a hassle to get into, leave it to the experts. I have never bought one. I have also avoided coconuts and pineapples. The amount of hassle to get into these things outweighs the joys they give.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I never bought a pair of Dr. Martin boots. Too much hassle when it's time to take them off.
Yeah, a lot of my mates used to wear them in like the 80s. you know, you can't just kick them off, can you? It's a big upheaval.
You've got to unlace them. You mean?
Yeah, I mean, since I found shoes with Velcro on them, brilliant. Just the way, I don't understand why laces...
Is it because you can't tie your laces?
No, I can do it, but it's wasted time.
You're so lazy. Wasted time. That gives him more time to sit around and look at insects,
How long
eating
does it
biscuits.
take to take off a pair of boots?
Well, it's
14
ridiculous.
seconds?
He can't fit his days as it is.
No, but I don't understand how some inventions sort of catch on and other things don't.
But this is what I mean. He's got too much time on his hands. Sitting around at home thinking, why are we not using Velcro more?
But there's
Why
one
are we
Velcro manufacturer going, yes! At
At
last! He
last.
said what needed to be said!
Why don't you get it sponsored? Because you could wear a Velcro toupee. Because that would be great if we could do that. If someone could invent a little hairpiece for Carl, Velcro to the little bit of fluff he's got on the top of his head, his shiny orange-like head, pop a little Velcro toupee on. I would love that. I would love to get him wearing a wig.
But why necessarily reduce it to a toupee? Why not some kind of carrying device? You know, he could carry goods and things around in there, sandwiches.
Yeah, he doesn't look like carrying a bag. Well, what about that? A little thing you carried around, a little Velcro thing you carried a pot on your head for your sort of like keys and trinkets and money and that.
Well, no, I've told you about that idea that's out there, but hasn't caught on as well. The tie,
Right.
the tie with loads of pockets and stuff in it.
Yeah, but you got to wear a tie.
Yeah, but that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? I've never wore a tie because I always think, what's the point? It's just hanging there in the way.
Can you imagine this image of Carl walking around in his big Velcro shoes, a tie with an apple stuffed in it, car keys,
Yeah.
iPod?
No, but don't you think it's a good idea?
Would you wear it with a shirt and collar or just a t-shirt?
No, wear it with a shirt. That's what I'm saying. It's an invention that will smarten up the world. Now, a tie, what does a tie do exactly?
Yeah.
What does it do?
Nothing.
Right, so I'm saying make it do something.
But I'm saying don't wear it at all. Pop your keys in the trouser pocket.
No,
Or
because
take a bag.
because the world is getting more and more scruffier, isn't it? When you look
I
back
don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
when you look back at like Victorian times and everything, everyone wore a hat. Right, they wore a tie, they wore a suit. And it was a nicer looking place to look at. When you see it on pictures, you go, what a smart world that is.
Well, you can't see cholera and things on pictures, but sure.
No.
No, but I'm just saying it's better to try and cover it up with a bit of, you know,
Cloth.
yeah.
Yeah.
The world looked nicer with more cloth. Whereas now everyone's roaming about scruffily. So what I'm saying is, if we make the tie more useful and give it a purpose, it might come back and the world will look tidier.
But a tie, its purpose is to look smart, really. Well, originally it was because we didn't have buttons, so it kept the collar up at the front. That was the invention. It was a useful invention, the tie.
Yeah,
it was
right.
called a tie. It tied together, okay?
Yeah.
So then, when we had buttons, that we didn't really need the tie, but it was a symbol of smartness, like saying, I've made an effort,
Yeah.
okay? But now, that would go away. So now, you wouldn't look smart with a tie. They go, oh look, it's like a bag round his head with his apples and oranges and his keys and his sticks he's making a nest out of. So it would be scruffy. It would make the tie scruffy, so it would defeat the object. So now when you're carrying stuff round, I mean, crawling on all fours because your shopping's so heavy round your neck, they'd go, look at that scruffy fucker on all fours. Oh look, but look at his lovely head of hair. It's Velcro!
It's a hat!
Yeah, well, that's the other problem, isn't it? I can't go back to a wig now.
My theory about reading old news is right. It's less bad when you know it's old. It was a story about a weatherman who was fired yesterday for having a nude picture of himself on the internet. But that happened 2 days ago. He's probably got another job by now. So old news isn't as shocking.
Well, old news isn't news though, is it? It's olds. What are you doing? Just reading the olds?
No, but what I mean is, if someone
Stick the video on of last week's news. I just want to catch up on the olds.
yeah, but then it's still news. News is something that you don't know, isn't it? If someone tells
That's
you something,
everything to you.
That's information, Carl, not news.
Yeah.
but news is information.
No,
And
the
what-
key with news is the word new.
No, I don't think it is it? It's
is.
just information, but they tell you at 10 o'clock at night. It's like, what information's gone on? Bong. Here's some information.
Yeah, that you didn't know before because you couldn't have because it only happened today. Bong.
Yeah, but never mind that. I'll tell you in a couple of days. It doesn't matter as long as you get the same info. Bong.
Yeah, we can't call it news though because it's misleading. We'd get done. It's called olds. Bong.
Yeah, but listen to me theory. What I'm saying is that if someone in your family, you know, it's Christmas and that, I don't want to bring the tone down, but someone dies in your family. Now say if you're away on holiday, and they don't call you because they don't want to ruin your holiday, and you come home, and they go, Uncle Frank's dead, and you go, oh, when did that happen? And they go, 2 weeks ago. Now, because everyone else has got over it, it's not as bad for you. Because part of bad news is the way everyone's walking around moping, going, "Oh, have you heard the news? Frank's dead." But because everyone's got over it, time is a healer. That's what I mean about old news. It's better than new news.
But according to you, the only news that really matters is stuff that affects you. So it doesn't matter when you, there was an earthquake, when was it? Yesterday. Phew, that's alright then. Often the aftermath is worse than the actual event. 2, you only care about things that actually happen to you. So the doctor goes, "You got a kidney stone." "Oh, when did this happen?" 2 weeks ago." "Oh, that's alright then." Doesn't make sense.
No, but the world is...
You're not upset about dead Uncle Frank just because other people are upset. You'd be upset personally. It wouldn't make any difference when they told you.
Yeah, but it is everyone else's emotions that make it worse, I think. Knocking around people who are miserable.
What about warnings? What about when they do things like smog warnings, or, you know, there may be a...
I don't like it on the news when they sort of say, "News just in." I think, "Oh, what's this?" You think, "Oh, what's going on?"
But it might be useful to know it.
Important information.
No, it just makes you panic.
What? Yeah, but sometimes knowing stuff keeps you alive.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it. It's sirens, you see. I don't like sirens, do I? I've said to you, I think it's a scary noise.
Well, it's meant to be, so you get out of the way.
No, it's not meant to be. It's a sign to get out of the way. I'd prefer it if it... Like
There's a
I've
voice.
said...
"Hiya! Could you just move out of the way
Well, it can
for
be
us?"
anything, as long as we know. It can be a chicken noise. But as long as you know
Oh,
that
that's not
chicken
going to
noise...
freak people out.
No, but it sort of make you smile. But you'd go, "Oh, best get out
What,
of
you're
the way."
cycling along and you hear what sounds like a giant chicken behind you?
And you smile, because you know that even though someone is burning to death, there's something clucking in my way. Do-do-do-do, whack! Do-do-do-do, whack!
Oh, that's probably a guy having a heart attack. Going to my mum and dad's today. I'll cut to the chase, Rick. They basically, we got about 4 pages where they drive to his mum and dad's.
Oh,
but
Jesus
I'll skip
Christ.
past that because it takes fucking forever. Got there with mum and dad. His mum made him some dinner. The old woman next door, brackets, whose man was a witch. Just pop that in brackets. Just pop that in brackets. I think we've discussed that before, actually, the old woman whose mum was a witch.
Whose man was a witch.
Yeah.
Oh.
The old woman next door has been worrying because she keeps seeing adverts on the telly about changing to digital TV. She's saying she doesn't want wires drilled into her walls because they'll make a mess. My dad told her that it doesn't matter because it'll probably won't happen until 2012 and she'll be dead by then.
He didn't say that to her, though, did
No,
he?
he did. They've got, you know, she's old. It doesn't... She knows she's going to die. I mean, it's something we've all got in common. And he's right, isn't he? Why is she worrying about it? Maybe that's sorted it out. Put it into perspective for her. You will be dead when this happens. Don't be worrying about it. But everybody worries, don't they? You've got that little sort of hole in your head that you fill with worries. You know, everyone's got to fill that little worry hole with worries, and that's us.
Worry hole. Everyone's got to fill the worry hole with
We've got to assume
worry.
that there's a worry hole.
A worry hole.
Don't be filled with worries.
I love the fact that, you know, doctors in the million years would dig this up and go, humans used to have a worry hole.
Went to bed around midnight. Suzanne and I decided to sleep tops and tails, because it made me get a bit more room. Me dad had cut a bit off the mattress to fit it between 2 cupboards. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes just sawing off a bit of the mattress. You sort of roll to the edge, but the weight of the blankets keeps you in. This is like something from a Roald Dahl book.
No, it's just, you know, you think anything, you can sort of trim anything, can't you? And it normally works. But with a mattress, I mean, he only took off, I don't know how long that is, but he's sawn off about that much on the mattress and then has stapled it back together again.
Amazing.
And it just makes so much difference.
Of course it does, because a mattress is a very carefully designed object.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so, though, would you?
Well, you
just
would
think
if you had a
it's full of
fucking brain in
sponge.
your nut.
No.
Someone took his brain out of his worry hole? Oh, God. He saw the match in half. So we decided to sleep tops and tails. It just gets stranger.
So strange. Why?
He did it to make the room nicer with the cupboards on either side.
So he sawed a mattress in half.
Well, not in half.
Can you imagine how much hard it must be to saw a mattress in half? What did he use? What, a big electric saw?
Well, it must have been, yeah, because there's a lot of springs and stuff in there.
Jesus.
So what happens to the springs? They just spring out the sides.
Well, some sort of stick out a little bit, but you're not lying on top, are you? They come out the side. So it's just got a bit of gaffer tape and a staple gun.
Unbelievable.
Hey, man alive. It's like...
Does he run it as a hotel? That's unbelievable.
There are squats with better bedding arrangements.
Well, we've had a bit of a bad thing in our house about mattresses and that, because when we first bought our first flat in Salford, you know what it's like when you buy somewhere, you sort of, you haven't got any money, have you, to buy extra stuff that you need. So, we bought a bed, right, But there's that rip-off thing with beds where you buy a bed, but a mattress doesn't come with it. Which I've never understood that. Because it's not a bed, is it? Without that mattress, it's not a bed. It's a car without an engine. You wouldn't go, there you go. Well, that seems cheap. Well, there's no engine in it. So we bought this, like, you know, flat and what have you. And we bought the bed. And then, like, oh, we haven't got a mattress. So my dad got one from Uncle Alf. No, well, from that Uncle Alf fella, because he had one in his van that he used to use now and again if he was, like, travelling round. He'd just kip in the back on this mattress.
Amazing.
A bloke who drove around in a van with a mattress in the back.
So
How
Uncle
terrifying.
Alf. So Uncle Alf, right? Well, tell me about Uncle Alf.
Well, you know about him, he's the one who slept in a dinghy. He's the one who...
Because his mattress was in his car.
Yeah, why didn't he go, oh, well, Alf, where's the bed? Left it in the car again. Oh, blow up the dinghy. Blow up the dinghy. I'm not going to go out and get the, not at this time of night.
So anyway, my dad got me his mattress, and it just stunk of diesel. And Suzanne was like, oh, I'm not happy with this. And I think she realised sort of what sort of family
She's got herself into.
Wow, she landed on her feet when she got you.
So now she's always a bit touchy about, you know, mattresses and things.
Unbelievable.
Uncle Alf, of course, sadly passed away when he couldn't escape from his sinking ship.
The fire engines were too late. No one got out of the way because they were laughing so much.
The mad woman next door saw me and said, hello, Clive. You live in a nursery rhyme. The old man down the road, the old woman next door whose mum's a witch, Uncle Alf who lives in a dinghy.
This is like not a real place. It's like fucking Narnia.
It's a children's TV programme.
Unbelievable. Oh, God. Oh, just all of them there on this broken mattress trying to find the golden ticket. Oh, God. Oh, God.
The old fella down the road talked to my dad a bit. He kept bees in the back garden.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Here comes the bee man.
His Yorkie dog was knocking about when he was messing with them, and it ended up getting stung 150 times.
Oh, little bastard! What is he doing?
It's not dead, but it cost a lot to get all the stings out. I don't know why people keep dangerous pets and insects. The amount of gear he had to wear to play with them is barmy. I don't think he's playing with the bees.
He's not playing with them, is he?
Well, what is he doing then?
Well, I don't know, but I think you should get the dog the same protection.
Yeah, but that's just it, isn't it? It's like, you can't mix your pets. If you've got a snake, you don't have a mouse. You know what I mean? They don't get on. And it's the same with them. Don't have bees. I can't imagine one bit of enjoyment. The only thing he does is the honey. And it's like, well, how much is that to buy? It's not worth messing about wearing a big white suit just to get some honey. There's a shop down the road.
Bees are kept for a very good reason, aren't they?
What?
For honey.
Yeah, no, but like I say, you can buy honey for next to nothing.
Where do you think... What do you mean? But where does the honey come from that you buy?
Yeah, from some proper bee farm. Let them do it. All he's doing, he's not making loads of pots of honey. He's looking after himself. And the thing with honey is, it doesn't go off either.
No, it doesn't, no.
So get 10 bees,
Yeah.
get the honey made, kick them out.
But you eat the honey, that's the point.
Yeah, I know, but
It
that's
doesn't.
honey.
You can't eat it and then it's still there in the jar. It's not magical. Maybe in your world,
No.
yeah, Uncle Fred had that never-ending jar of honey.
But how much honey do you eat? What I'm saying is, it's one of them things in it that you buy, and you can move into a new house, buy some honey, and when you leave that house, that honey's still in the cupboard. You don't eat that much of it. So get 10 bees, get your honey's worth.
10 bees! Imagine keeping 10 bees!
Well, just get them to do the graft. If you've got loads of bees, they're not all pulling the weight, are they? Because they'll go, well, I'm not doing any, because I'll leave it to the others. Whereas if you've got 10 bees, you know that none of them are pulling the weight if there's no honey. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not a workhouse. Bees don't knock around saying, I got a bad back.
Anyway, back to this reading from the twits. The news covered a story about a fish that knocked about 400 million years ago. It was 33 feet long and had a jaw strong enough to eat a shark in one go. All the dangerous stuff seems to die out, and yet things that you think wouldn't stand a chance, like worms, are still here, yet they have no legs or eyes. I saw a future human in the news article the other month about the future woman. She had 3 breasts. They looked alright.
Well, no, that's not. I can't see how that's going to ever evolve.
No, well, they say about how, about evolving and that. I read that, there's going to be ugly people. People are starting to go ugly.
Yeah, they're still going to have bilateral symmetry, I imagine.
I don't know what that means, but
Well,
I'll tell you now, right? They're talking about, like, people who are just like, you know, you look at them and you go, oh, look at the state of that, right? And it'll get to a point when we're all so ugly that no one will have it away, and we're just going to die out.
Well, that's not true either. That's not true either.
That is the biggest worry.
Well, no, so
That's the world's biggest
So
worry,
as we evolve and we change, our mindset doesn't change. We're still going, I wish we looked like they did a million years ago. I don't fancy anything.
No, but look how things do change.
But why are we all going to get ugly? I don't understand.
It's just the air and stuff, isn't it? It's just
The air or the hair?
You know, the air that we breathe and stuff, and the food we eat. Everything's changing, and we're not going to look that healthy, and we're just all going to go ugly. You've only got to look at some stuff that's in the sea, and you think, look at the state of that.
What's
and that's
got to
because
do with human evolution.
But the stuff
Because
in the
they've been
sea is
around
still
longer.
propagating.
Yeah, but they've been around longer than us.
But it's still reproducing, so your theory falls down.
But they're deep down, aren't they, in the dark, so they probably can't see what they're having it away with. If they were up on the outside, they'd have died out ages ago.
Why? Because they wouldn't fancy the other stonefish or
Yeah, because they're
sea
really
slug.
odd-looking. I can't remember the name. I think it was a viper something. It was just a head.
But Carl, the
A fish
reason...
that's just a head. It was well ugly.
Watched a programme about the twins this morning. It was filmed 16 years ago. They are mental. They did everything together, including the vacking up. Phone calls had to happen twice so they could both have the same chat, and they said the same stuff at the same time. Well weird. The bloke who I watched it with, I don't know who that is, just some homeless guys that you just invited into the
No,
flat?
just someone I've been sort of working with.
Sure, a mate of yours. He said he fantasised about having it away with a pair of twins. I don't see the point in this. If you're going to have two of something, I would prefer to have two different women. If I had two cars, I wouldn't have the same one twice. Same rule with women. I don't even normally like buying the same pair of trainers twice in a row.
No, if you're going to have something new, make a change. It's like that fella who was going out with a woman and then left her and went out with a twin sister. Not worth it.
Not worth it!
It's not worth the upheaval, is it? Because it's exactly the same model.
I watched the final of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It was between singer Jason Donovan, singer Mylene Klass, and singer Matt out of a boy band. I had my money on Donovan, but Matt won it. I think it was because of his last task. He ate a fisheye, some grubs, a big fat insect that they have on every year, a crocodile knob, and a kangaroo anus. I feel like we've come there, Rick, to where we entered.
It was this time last year when we first started the podcast that we were talking about I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and you coined the famous phrase, I could eat a knob at night.
Yeah.
So it's full circle. It's just that the last series finished recently, and it was astounding that he ate a crocodile knob, he ate a crocodile eye, he chewed up and swallowed a kangaroo's anus, which I to be honest, I didn't know was a food stuff. Could you eat any of that?
If I had to eat any of them, it would have to be the anus.
What, really?
Yeah, more than the other stuff. I couldn't eat anything that's still alive.
No. I
'cause,
agree.
I
I
think it's
couldn't eat
a bit-
any of that. I
bit
don't know under what circumstances I'd have to go, right, that's it now, we're not going to survive, the ship isn't coming, there is nothing on this island I can eat, give me the crocodile's penis.
So it wouldn't bother me. I could eat anything. I could do almost all of the challenges on that programme, but I couldn't cope in the camp. I couldn't cope with the lack of food and the uncomfortable bed. That's all that would do my head, and I'd drive people spare, whinging and complaining.
I couldn't cope with any aspect of it except the physical challenges. I couldn't cope with sleeping with people snoring, the things crawling over you. I'm not so squeamish about that, like snakes and things. That's all right. But the eating is ridiculous. It's out of the question to eat a worm or a grub.
It doesn't concern me. I don't know why. I don't see really what the difference in it. The texture's probably the same as lots of other things.
What would hunger do to you, though, do you think? Would you think I would change? Do you think, if it really was a choice, if someone said, and I knew I would die if I didn't eat worms...
I think you would, yes. I think you'd complain and you'd whinge for a while, and you'd try and put it off, and you'd hope a ship would turn up. But when it didn't, you'd start chowing down on a bit of crocodile anus.
But then where's the rest of the crocodile?
Well, yeah, that's a good
who's
point.
been eating that? How come I've got this? You know, you're meant to work together as a team in bad time, and yet I'm being handed an anus. Forget it. Let me starve.
Well, thanks for listening. That was the Christmas podcast. We should say the winner of the last competition we did. They can win the podcast book and Flanimals and the extras book. book that's out, still available,
All available.
and the CD.
The three CD set of the best of the podcast.
Yeah,
Is that
with
right? Series
with
1.
a brand new hour. If you haven't got that, get out. Maybe you've got some record tokens.
Yeah, if you've got record tokens or book tokens, those are the perfect things to spend them on.
Or £50 from your auntie.
Exactly.
Go and buy one of those. And the winner was Stephanie Prow from the Wirral.
Well done, Steph.
Well done. Well, thank you to Positive Internet, the guys that host this podcast. That's the end. That's the end of the Christmas podcast and the end of this team for a little while.
Yeah.
It's been great. So it's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais. Goodbye from Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye and Happy New Year.
And goodbye from Karl Pilkington.
Alright.
Alright. That was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's good. It's all right. What are you doing now? You got time for a coffee or something?
I can't now. I'm going to the, you know, the orphanage for terminally ill kids.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going down there. I'll go down there every Christmas and sort of, like,
do you?
entertain them.
Oh, well, I bet that's lovely for them.
Yeah, no, I've actually written a song I'm going to perform. They see The Office and see that I sing in that.
You've written a song for them?
Yeah.
Well, could we hear a bit? I mean, what? I don't want to put you on the spot, but you've got the guitar there, isn't it?
Yeah. Hold on. I wrote this for a kid. He's a brave little guy. He's only about 10, but it's heartbreaking. He's Don't cry, it's Christmas. Santa's coming soon. Though you ain't got a mommy or daddy, Santa still loves you. And he's riding on his reindeer to trample down the gloom. So don't cry, it's Christmas. Santa's coming soon. Don't cry, it's Christmas. Santa's feeling kind, though you know you'll never see him. He's not just in your mind, and it's not that he's invisible. It's because you're going blind. So don't cry, it's Christmas. Santa's feeling kind. Don't cry, it's Christmas. Santa's on his way, though he's got a billion children, and he's only got one day. You've got slightly less than that. If I were you, I'd pray. But don't cry, it's Christmas, and it sounds a little gay. Oh, isn't that be quite moving for everyone?
Yeah, I would ask you now to not play that song.
Oh no, too late now, they're expecting.
But I'm not sure it's going to be as well received as you perhaps hope.
I think that's better than any gift, and I don't really want to give gifts because they're expensive.
Sure.
Hello, welcome to episode 2 of the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And Karl Pilkington.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, I just feel bad about Graham. I feel sorry for Graham.
Don't feel sorry for
Well,
Graham.
he was a nice guy, and he
She
absolutely
was so badly treated.
took you into his home. He was going to give you everything, and you just didn't appreciate, and was saving your family's life. And you just...
Yeah, but I went for the other option. There's no point. All I'd be doing is letting Graham down. And as much as I didn't like him, I don't want to ruin his
I
life.
don't know why you didn't like him.
He was just not my type.
He was a lovely guy.
He wasn't a lovely guy.
He didn't give
Why wasn't he a
enough
lovely
time.
guy?
Just his ways, you know. I mean, you bond with some people, you don't with others. It had nothing to do with him.
You barely even had a
Being
conversation with him.
Yeah, but you click straight away with people, don't you? You know when you meet someone, you go, yeah, they're all right. It wasn't going to work. If I was to go out with a gay man, Graham wouldn't be the one.
Who would be?
Who would be?
Just someone who wasn't as in your face as him.
Well, which
Just
celebrity?
someone,
What do you mean in your face? What?
just sort of, you know, just the way he was straight away. I wouldn't go to a club to meet someone like that. I wouldn't. Because I don't like doing that as a straight man. So just because I'm gay, I don't suddenly get into house
Well,
music.
if you were going to be gay, what gay man would you want to marry?
Probably someone who you don't know is gay.
I don't know what that means.
Someone who's just quiet about it, just get on with it.
So if you were gay, you'd like a sort of straight man.
No, because that's not going to work either, is it? That was my situation with Graham.
But how do you know if how would you, if you were gay, why would you approach someone who didn't know was gay?
What, so if you're gay, the only gay life you can do is by going to a club where it's a racket at 4 in the morning and meeting someone?
No.
Right then, so that's what
But
I'm saying.
I'm saying, who would be your ideal partner if you were gay? Who would you like?
There'll be someone who I don't know who's gay, innit?
I don't know what that means. What do you mean it was someone who you don't know?
Because I wouldn't go out with someone who's really like, oh, hello, and all that, with the shirt open. The
Why
tan.
not?
Because that's the equivalent of going out with a woman who's got knickers up her arse, and you know, it's the equivalent. It's the in-your-face woman and the in-your-face man. I don't want any of you.
Well, who do you want?
Well, who was your
Someone
sort of
normal.
guy? Okay, well, just say what your sort of guy is then. Do you want him to be sort of like a man's man, sort of goes, you know, slap, he sort of like, when you go to do something, you go, you dopey idiot, and he just sort of gives you...
No, I don't want that.
No, you want someone to go, oh, what's the matter with you? Do you want yourself better?
it's that,
Well, what do you want?
What do you mean,
I'm asking you what you want.
Petal. I don't
Yeah,
want
what do you
any of
want in
that.
a man? I'm asking you what
The
you want.
ones who are just normal, who just could talk, they'll go, all right, Carl, how's it going? Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm good.
Right?
What
Okay.
are we doing tonight? Watching Die Hard, if you want. Go straight to bed after that? Yeah.
Oh, now it's straight in bed. I love the fact he went from like not being sure to just like getting a man.
But not great. It wouldn't be 4 in the morning. I'd
No.
be living my life as I am now,
Right.
but I'd be a gay man.
Yeah. Okay. So
Because
just
I'm
trying to-
me, aren't I? So that's
Yeah.
not going to change.
No. Why would it? No. So I'm just trying to. Carl, all we're trying to establish what sort of guy you go for. Okay, we've settled that. If sorry about that. If any people feel sorry for Graham, sorry about that. But that's settled. What I thought we could do, Carl, on this the brand new 5th series of the Ricky Gervais Show, we're talking about things that have happened since we met, looking back. What have you learned? Where are we going forward from this? I thought we could play Room 101, the popular TV show where people cast the things they hate into Room 101 forever. Room 101, of course, is taken from George Orwell's 1984. Room of all your fears and terrors, and so.
Is there a copyright issue here? Can we just steal this idea?
Well, yeah. Well, let's play Room 102.
Clever.
This is the room next door to Room 101, which is worse in my opinion.
Is it?
Oh, Winston Smith. He'd love to be in Room 101 if he went to Room. He'd go, "Oh, get me back to Room. I didn't know where. Oh, I didn't know I was born. This is much worse." So, Carl, these are things that really annoy you. Don't put in things like, you know, cancer and racism. I mean, that goes without
They're already
saying.
in there.
They're already in there. All the terrible things in life here. This is just your little bugbears, the things that really annoy you. That, you know, well, I actually did the real show, and I put in things like lateness. That's my bugbear. I can't stand it. I think I put in parents who let their kids run riot. Parents who think that everyone is interested in their kid as much as they are. I remember I was talking about this family, right? They were passing the baby around in a restaurant, and it was like being sick, and they were all shouting about it, and I was thinking, oh, and I got onto, oh yeah, they were breastfeeding it, and at one point I went on a this sort of like digression about a friend of mine who moved to the country, and the woman next door, sort of this hippie woman next door, about 40, you know, one of those sort of like long grey hair,
know, mate.
you know what I
I
mean?
know what you're
Shave your legs and stop wearing flip-flops.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, we're just neighbours, and we brought you round a rice pudding. And they gave my friend a rice pudding, and she went, oh, it's made from breast milk because I'm still lactating. And I went, thanks very much. And of course she went and they threw it away and washed the dish and gave it back to her. And it annoyed me, the arrogance of coming round and saying, it's rice pudding made by breast milk. Get out of here, you dirty hippie.
Is that what you'd have said though if she'd arrived at your
No,
door?
I'd have said, oh, do you know what? I'm breast milk intolerant. No. Well, I remember the next day it went out on television. A journalist said, "Oh, Ricky Gervais showed his misogynist side." No, I stand by it. I stand by it. I don't eat strangers' breast milk. I'm saying about it totally natural. Well, it's not okay. Yeah, it's a cum sandwich. It doesn't matter if it's natural. It's fucking disgusting. Don't make me a rice pudding out of breast milk. You know, I'm not a fussy eater.
Sure. Well, you are.
Yeah.
But no, I know what you mean.
Surely you'd draw the line there of a stranger's breast milk.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Any kind of jizz flan.
Jizz flan, do you know what I mean?
That's giving you an example of the sort of thing that one might put into Room 102.
Yeah, people who try and make you eat their breast milk disguised as rice pudding.
It's quite a specific fear.
Yeah.
That one.
Graham.
Oh, come on. He doesn't deserve that.
Slugs was in there.
Slugs. So, then there's, you have to put a case forward, and me and Steve decide whether slugs go in, or whether they stay out, whether they've got a purpose.
It's just because I'm having a problem with slugs at the moment. There's a lot of slugs coming in the house.
Why?
Don't know. They can get where, like, water can't, you know what I mean? Because they're boneless, aren't they? So
Well,
any little gap.
So's water boneless. There's not many bones in water.
No, that's what I said.
Yeah, but you're saying they can get somewhere that water can't.
Yeah, no, they're even more likely to because they sort of move about and that, and they're looking for light. Water's just happy where it is. You understand what I'm saying?
Why banish them all to room 102, slugs? Because they're harmless, aren't they?
Yeah, but I also think, I mean, at the end of the day, they're happy wherever. So stick them in room 102. They're not bothering me, and they're happy. They're not bothered what the room is.
No. This is a metaphor. Room 102 means they disappear from existence. There's not really a room where you put in slugs with people making rice pudding out of their breast milk. It's not really. No, it's not. You can't rent that room. We're saying, would you take slugs out of existence?
That's quite a tough call, isn't it? Because everyone's going to have a go. But I don't know what they do. All I know is they're clogging up my piping. I had to go out and buy a plunger. I hadn't seen them since, like, comics when I was a kid. And I suddenly thought, I need one of them things that I always saw in comics. I never thought I'd need one of them in my life. It's 2008. I've got slugs in my pipes. So I went out, £3 it was. I had no idea what the going rate is for a plunger.
Where did you go and get one?
It's a hardware shop round the corner. So I went round there, I said, have you got a plunger? He said, what size do you want? I said, what size have you got? He said, oh, we've got 3 different sizes. I said, I'll have the middle one. So that was £3. And took it back, gave it a bit of a plunge. And I think it was slugs. Like, all, like, bits of black stuff came up. I think it was slugs in there, like broken up slugs.
Well, hang on. That could just be black gunk, couldn't it?
No, it looked very sluggish. Because remember, I've had a problem with them anyway. I'll go to the toilet or whatever, look round, there's a slug climbing up the wall out of the shower basin thing.
Are you sure it's a slug?
Yeah, definitely slugs. I have to keep chucking them out because I don't like killing anything.
Right.
I didn't want to kill the slugs with slug pellets. I bought some copper ribbon.
Right. They don't like going over that,
They don't like that.
They get a little shock charge, yeah.
But now that should be a warning. But instead, they're diverting. They've done a diversion. They've gone up the wall and across. Now it's like, that's a warning. That's like having a no trespassing sign.
Yeah.
And they're just going, bollocks to that. And they're getting in. And it's annoying me. And now you get to a point when you do say, well, if they carry on like this, I'll have to kill them because they're not... They're
not playing by the rules.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the purpose is. They just sit there still. I don't see him doing anything. I was looking at one close up.
But what do you want to do? Be reading Rousseau. What do you want a slug to do?
In the same way you see a bee collecting pollen, good, it's doing its little work.
But
ants carrying big leaves or whatever. But the slug's just sat in the
They're
middle
all
of the
doing the
kitchen.
same thing. They're all doing the same thing. That slug is out. It's eating. It's finding food.
There's no food. There's no food in our kitchen for a slug. Believe me. There's not enough there for me sometimes. But never mind a slug. There's nothing for it. Definitely not in the shower. What's it doing? So I told you ages ago about how they cause more problems than good. They eat cabbage,
right?
When they shouldn't be. They get in letterboxes and nick stamps.
They don't nick stamps.
They eat the stamps. They like the glue on it.
Right.
Is this a big problem though? Is there an epidemic of slugs eating stamps?
But I think it is, and that's why they're so slow. I think they're sweating glue. Right? They're eating all them, and that's why they're sticking to stuff. Have you ever picked up a slug? Well sticky. They give off this glue. It's like all the glue they've eaten off stamps. They panic, and when they sweat glue.
Sweat! Think of a slug! What do you mean they sweat glue? You're making up nature. This is like Attenborough, but made up.
When you see a slug, you prod it, it gets nervous, it wants to run off. But the problem is, because it's sweating glue...
It's not sweating glue!
It makes sense.
This is just the nonsense theory.
It's just what I've noticed on them.
Right, Rick, do you allow slugs in room 102?
Well, I think we should, if they're going to be gone forever, then we should We should put a case forward. They're amazing creatures.
Yeah, but you haven't got them in your house. It'd be different. All you've got is people coming around saying, do you want some rice pudding? That isn't a world problem.
That wasn't me.
All right, whatever it was.
No, but they're amazing. They've got 2 sets of like antennae. The one at the top is for light, and the next one is that they can smell and get food in the air, just the slightest.
What do they do for the world?
They're food. If only.
It's not good enough, that. It's not good enough.
What do you mean? Like that's the ultimate sacrifice. Surely them being food for
Who's
something.
eating them?
Hedgehogs.
Do they like them?
Yeah, they love them. They love slugs.
Do they?
Yeah.
The thing is, though, if you're always going to upset someone, aren't you? With anything I put in room 1
No,
or
you just
2.
got to make a reasoned case, and I'm not sure that you've argued well enough.
I'm
for
just
slugs.
having problems with them at the moment. I've spent £3 on a plunger, and I don't like the idea that every time I get up in the night to go into the toilet or whatever, I've got to put the light on because I might have a bit of sluggage between my toes.
Sluggage, a little bit of sluggage between my toes.
But if you're going to put everything in your house that causes problems, what else are we going to have here?
No,
boilers?
I'm not. It's just, I mean, at the end of the day, you only moan about what's fresh on your mind at the moment. And I haven't, I've got to go to that house, and I dread to think how many slugs are going to be stuck to the ceiling and everything.
Right, okay, so we need to move on. So you are not putting them in?
I'm not putting slugs in.
All right,
no.
slugs have not gone in, Carl, I'm afraid.
What's your next one?
Okay, number 2.
People who don't want to do what the brains would be better at doing.
Right, okay, no, I'll get around that sentence. Now, tell me again.
Brains that don't want to do what their owners are good at.
Ah, so now it's the brain's fault. Before you said you were going to put people in who don't do what their brains are good at, but now you've changed that. Now you're putting the blame on the brain. Now you want to put in brains who don't want to do what their owners are good at. I like the fact that you own a brain.
Okay, no, I just need a bit more clarification, Rick. Before you ask questions, can you just expand on that point, please, KP?
Do you know, like, people decide what they want to do,
Right.
don't they, for a living?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they're not good enough.
Right.
You mean they have a dream and they can't fulfill it because they haven't got the skill or...
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're not good for anything.
No.
It's just that they haven't unlocked the thing that they're good at.
Right.
Which is fair enough. You can't always find what's going on. There's a lot going on in the brain.
Yeah.
There might be something up there that you just never find, which is sad. Right?
Right.
But
You mean you may never discover your full potential because you may never stumble across it. You may never have the means.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, of course, yeah.
I only got into hospital radio because my dad was in hospital. So I found out about this thing and I thought, I didn't even know this existed. I want to go at
Of course. So I mean, there's much bigger issues there that the poor working class people don't get the same opportunities. People in third world, when you're worrying about whether you're going to live through the next few days, you don't start thinking, I wonder if I can play the cello.
Can I refer you back though, Rick? You made an interesting point there, but I fear that's not exactly what Carl was saying. I don't think that his point was quite that profound.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something to do with the brain not allowing its owner.
Yeah, because that's the bit that annoys me. Fair enough if a brain hasn't decided what it wants to do, because you.
What is this?
Let him finish.
God, this thing
let him
about
finish.
the brain
Shut up.
being in charge, like the numbskulls.
Because it hasn't found its destiny type thing.
A brain
But
hasn't found its destiny.
when someone is good at something and they know the brain is good at something, but then they don't want to do it and they want to go off and do something else.
Sorry, who's to blame here? The person or the brain? I'm talking like him now.
Don't know what's
Who are
going
you
on.
putting into room 102? What annoys you? A brain that doesn't let its owner know what it's good at, or an owner that won't do what the brain wants to
I
do?
think it's the owner, because say like a bloke who's good at plumbing,
Yeah.
his brain loves plumbing. His brain loves plumbing. He's sick of plumbing, so he goes off to try and
Unplumb.
No, he's going to do something else.
he's gonna do something else.
He's carpentry.
Now, they say in this country the problem is we haven't got enough tradesmen.
Right.
We haven't got enough plumbers.
Right.
There's enough plumbers' brains.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Shut up.
What are you talking
Shut
about?
up. Let him please finish.
Because
This is like beds and pillows again.
brains have not changed over the years. The brain is exactly the same. But it's the owner of the brain that's in charge. The brain could be going, I want to go for a walk, or I want to go and find something out. But if your body's too lazy to get up and go and see the stuff, the brain isn't going to get what it wants.
It doesn't make sense, Carl.
Alright,
you are
imagine
your
this.
brain.
Let
Okay,
me-
you could have a good point if you said this. You could say that everyone's brain has the ability to become a plumber.
Yeah.
You know, your brain, you know, yeah.
But I don't know if it has, you see, because this is the thing. When I was younger, when I first left school, I had 2 jobs I wanted to do. I wanted to be a joiner, right? Or a car mechanic. I had a go at sort of joinery. Couldn't really get my head around it, right? Did work placement at a garage, messed it up, got kicked out.
What did you
Now,
do?
the thing is,
Why did you get kicked out?
just because I messed the garage up.
What? How did you mess it up?
The fella was he's a bit moody, this fella, and he just decorated his garage. And
You are like the slug in this scenario, aren't you?
He just, do you know, like, they paint the floor and everything, make it with lines in it and everything like that.
Right. What did you do?
And he painted it white. You shouldn't have white in a garage. Stupid with all the oil about and that. It's not the right colour, is it? It's like getting a white sofa. You're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
So he'd painted it all, and then he sort of said, "Do you want to change the oil on the car?" So yeah, go on then. So what do I do? He said, "You pull a sump out, stick a bucket underneath, catch the oil." All right then. Go down there, pull the sump out, hold the bucket, but because of the pressure, the oil doesn't come straight out. It flirts out sideways. Went all over his white floor. He went mental, kicked me out. Now the thing is, that wasn't really my fault. My brain didn't know. It was showing an interest.
No, what? Right.
Let him finish!
Oh God, what does he mean?
Shut up, let
The brain-
My fault and my
Please.
brain.
The brain was
shut
showing an interest, but at the end of the day, if it hasn't got the knowledge, what can it do? Now, you could say, was that my fault or my brain's fault?
No, I'd never say that. People may be in the wrong job. You might not discover what you're really
Yeah, but I'm
brilliant at.
talking about, you get people, all right, let's go to the extreme. People with no legs who want to be swimmers. Don't be stupid.
Oh God!
I'm so annoyed. This is a big problem.
It's madness, isn't it? It's mad that the brain wants to do that so much. The brain's in the wrong body almost. Yeah, are you with me?
No.
A plumber who can plumb is annoying when he jacks it in as a living, because there's other brains who can't do plumbing. They don't get their head round it.
This means
Look, you must have learnt the same stuff at school as me, but a lot of it wasn't interesting to my brain. I wasn't bothered. It wasn't into taking it in. Yet look at me in like editing and all that. I can use all that equipment because my brain's happy with it.
Yeah, you found something you're good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why aren't I good at plumbing or joinery or being a mechanic?
He's probably not interested in it.
I loved it as a kid.
People do have different brains. People are different. Some people are more higher logic, lower emotion.
That's
you
what
know?
I'm saying.
yeah, but I don't know what you're putting in room 102 because you're saying it's like this brain's wandering around looking for a
blame?
body, and it goes, "Oh, I'll choose that body." Hang on, this body doesn't even want to do some plumbing.
It's a
just-
matter of taste. It's just a
sometimes
matter of taste.
It's good to do what you're good at and stop chasing a dream.
This is the most complicated thing. You could just put in noisy kids. Like, Ricky, why is this is a brain that
Because
doesn't
someone
work.
else would have done noisy kids. There's no point everyone putting in the same thing.
But
as
I don't
you.
even know what your point is here.
For example, what I put in were parents who ignore their kids running riot in a restaurant or on a train. The arrogance of them thinking that, oh, isn't it fun? That there was someone to blame. I was basically putting in bad parenting, or there was someone. I wasn't going a brain who wanted to be a plumber, but the plumber didn't.
I'm not putting the brain in. It's just people. If I had a really good skill, I'd hope that I'd use it.
You don't know what you're good at until you try it. You might be the best drummer in the world.
I know, but they're the people I'm having a go at. They're the people who I'm having a go at. The people who know they can do something, but they don't do
So
it.
people who don't fulfil their own potential.
That's a good one.
Is that a better point?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But there's nothing to do with this duality, this brain versus person. I don't know what that is. It's a weird thing you've got. A really weird little kink you've got, that you think this brain is another entity that lives in your head, that you own it, and you've got to become the master of it. Like some sort of weird dog. Who am I talking to now, Carl or his brain?
We're both listening.
Well, I will put in people who don't fulfill their full potential. Slugs are safe, but people who don't fulfill their full potential, you have got into room 102. Got a couple more things for room 102, Carl?
My problem with me restless leg syndrome.
Oh yeah.
If I could put that in.
Right. Okay.
What is this problem?
The problem I've got with my legs, how they sort of come alive at night.
And what
Tap
are they out
dancing,
doing?
like bed knobs and broomsticks.
Yeah.
I sort of go to bed, I'm tired, and then I sort of nod off for about 40 odd minutes,
Yeah.
and then my legs go,
Right.
and I can't sleep. It's really depressing. I think it's actually affecting me sort of health-wise, because I'm not sleeping right through the night. It's like I want to
And
sleep.
what does
but me-
Graham say? What does Suzanne say?
Well, she's annoyed with it, because she's getting loads of bruises. Kicking her.
I did a little bit of research on restless leg syndrome when he mentioned it to me. And two little bits of information you'd be interested in, Steve. It is exacerbated and made worse by a sedentary lifestyle,
Right.
lack of activity, lack of exercise, and it can be alleviated with the opposite of that: exercise, leading a more active lifestyle. Which
I
proves
walk-
my point.
No,
You're
no.
like a slug.
I do loads of walking. I make sure I do a good walk. If anything, it's because I walk too fast, because I tense my legs up when I walk. The doctor didn't say anything to do with that when I told him about ages ago. He said it was because I was eating ice cream.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know who
There's
this
something
doctor
that's
is.
in ice cream. He just
Is this the same doctor that said your nerves are too long?
Yeah. No, it's a different fella. This
Right.
is the proper doctor. But yeah, so I've cut that out, and it works for a bit. But now it's got to a point where I have to go to bed, and I have my legs outside of the bed. I have to put my feet on the floor.
What do you mean?
What?
I have to lie in the bed, like
With your
normal
feet on the
position, but I have
floor?
to stick my legs out and feet on the floor.
That's insane. You can't sleep like that.
Well, I do. I nod off, and then maybe in the night, when I wake up, my legs are back in the bed. So either they get bored, or they uncomfy, or whatever,
Yeah.
or they eventually get tired. But it's kind of like, if I have them there, it's like they think they're awake and they're being used. The only other thing I can do is if I lie on my front, and then have my legs in the air,
Well, hold on. Whoa! You lie in the front and have your legs in the air.
like that. Say if that's my head,
Oh, like
go like that, like a scorpion.
like the front cover of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, like that. If I do that, I think if I can get the blood out of my legs, they don't work the same.
Is this advice from the doctor or?
No, I did
Is it
that
this
myself.
doctor? Was he from the 12th century?
No, that doctor didn't tell me to do that. I sort of did it.
You
And I
just
thought
want
that
that,
works.
that
I nodded
brilliant
off.
piece of information.
Well, have you put this into the Royal Society of Surgeons?
What?
Well, this discovery that if you lay,
No, it's my cure. I'll use it. It might not work for everyone.
And so crazy leg syndrome is destroying your...
Sleep,
Right.
and it's important to get sleep in it. If you can't sleep, it drags you down. And my legs, they just come alive at night. It's like they belong to a runner or something, and they want to run, and I'm going, I just want to sleep
But why don't you run?
why don't you go for a run?
because it's late at night.
Yeah, but go for a run in the day. Tire them out.
Fine in the day.
Tire them out in the
I
day.
tire them out in the day.
No, you
Go
don't.
for loads of walks in the day. Loads of walks.
So if you were to go, you go to bed, you got restless leg syndrome. If you were to go for a run, that would cure it. I've looked it up.
No,
It
because
does.
I do have long, proper walks. It
No, but
doesn't
if you
sort
know
of-
immediately,
if anything, it's like the legs like it and they want more of it. It's like a puppy. You take it for a walk and it's jumping up and down. I want more walks. Well, you can't have a walk. We had a walk earlier. Go to sleep. They're fine in the day. Whilst I'm sat here, they're not probabling me.
they're not what?
They're not probabling me.
Okay.
Probabling me.
They're not.
Makes up
They're not giving me any grief whilst I'm
They're
sat
not
here.
probabling me.
But when night falls, it's all going to be different.
It's like they go, I don't want to go to sleep yet.
Like
It's like a
voodoo
little
legs.
kid. It's a kid who wants to stay up in case it misses something.
Yeah.
And that's why I just have to let them stay up. Stick them out the bed.
I love the fact that you go to bed before your legs. Oh God.
It's annoying. I mean, it's really...
Well, I don't know if I can put in
Your
restless leg syndrome because, as I say, it can be easily cured. You could get up, you could do a bit of exercise, you could walk around.
yeah, but I've tried all that, doctor, and it doesn't work. Do you suggest anything else?
Right. There's your problem. He's not a doctor.
No, exactly. That's what I mean.
No, well, I'll put it in. I will put it in if you try that. Next time your legs are outside the bed, say, okay, listen, I'm going to go for a run. Put on a sweatshirt.
No, because
Put on some shorts.
it's always late at night. I'm not
Yeah.
going out. It's dangerous.
So you go to bed at 11:30.
Yeah.
Go for a run at half 11. Half 11. 15 minutes.
So, are they going in or not?
No, because you're not. I'm not sure that you're doing everything for it. What's your next thing to try and get in room 102?
It's a tricky one, this.
Go on.
It's people who think that humans are special. Do you know what I mean?
But you think that?
No, I don't. I don't think humans are special. I think some of us are. I think you get the odd one who creates something, and you go, that's amazing. But the way we say the human race is amazing, no, it isn't. A small percentage of it is. There's a load of numbnuts. And it annoys me how people say the human race did this, human race. No, it didn't. Let's name them, because there's only a few people who have done stuff that matters.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, definitely. We think we're good and we're not.
But who matters? Just before we get on to your point, so you're putting in the rest of the human race?
No, just people who say that they're good. People who have said that statement that isn't the human race an amazing thing.
So anyone who's ever said isn't the human race amazing?
Yeah,
goes in room 102.
Yeah, I'd say don't be stupid.
So most of the human race is going in.
Well, have you ever said it?
Well, I think all species are amazing.
But when people say the human race, they sort of mean
They think what you mean. That you can go
great people,
the
great
art,
minds.
Inventors, the things that were, that we've.
And how is the human race not amazing?
Because we're not needed to keep this planet going. We're an added thing that was added on
the
later.
Food chain. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
we were added last.
Yeah.
It's like there's some room left. What we do, stick some humans on.
But don't forget, this thing of we being added doesn't make sense, because it was a process. There was no point when someone goes, we don't need this, let's stop now. We kept mutating and being selected.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes you can keep... It's going back to what we were talking about last time about you've got a house, you fill it with stuff. At some point, you've got everything you need. You've got your kettle, you've got your fridge, you've got your telly.
It could have stopped at slugs,
Then
it would be fine.
Gone, I'm buying this
nothing needed anything.
Yeah, it did. The world needed... I mean, okay, I tried to put slugs in, you didn't allow them in.
Yeah.
Fair play to the slugs. They must do something somewhere.
Yeah.
Just not in my house.
But it could have stopped at slugs. They got it right. What's this thing that you need anything else? The slug evolved.
No, but we don't add anything, do we? All we've done since we've been around is mess up the world.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm saying we're not needed. I don't know what the last thing was that was needed.
No, we're not needed. We're not needed.
Yeah. So what was the last thing before?
Doesn't make any sense.
What was the last thing that was invented by nature?
It's arbitrary. It's a stupid question.
What do you mean?
It's not a stupid question.
Everything is just happening. It's evolving now.
Right, look at it like this. You see, we think we're important because we just do. Well, I don't, but some do. And they're the ones I want to get rid of.
Another argument with himself.